Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to take a look at how the INT Brave pair Gohan Teen and Videl do in Majin Buu Saga Extreme Super Battle Road stage. So these guys were part of the latest free-to-play batch of EZAs and we're going to take a look at how well they do. 96,000 defense or so. Doesn't look too spectacular on paper, but just remember they are a cold judgment unit, so they do have quite a bit of defense that they can still gain. If we take a look at them as a unit, obviously nowadays free-to-play units taking on ESBR after their EZAs is quite a common occurrence. I think we're starting to near the end of this current meta curve and start to really look at the next big events or big power spike that will happen to Dokkan this year. Obviously they come around with the anniversary, but the INT Brave pair Gohan Teen and Videl, just to talk about them just a little bit after we see their attack stats. So they're mainly an offensive unit. They don't provide too much more than just a very good amount of damage, which is fine. I don't think every unit has to be spectacular in that way. They do 1.2 million here. It doesn't look like a lot, but with links they'll start hitting quite a bit higher. They are a Hero of Justice, Defenders of Justice style link unit, but you can see multiple super attacks here. Even if you're only getting 1.4, 1.5 million super attacks without links, the fact that you're going to fire off 3 of them and they're all going to have a decent chance to crit is kind of important. So yeah, let's take a look just at them in general. So as a unit, they are a Majin Buu Saga category lead of 77%, which is obviously nothing too crazy, but they are a 50% in-type lead as well. They cause supreme damage to the enemy, and they also raise their attack for 9 turns in total. So they stack 50% attack for a total of up to 9 turns, which is pretty good. They can actually really start hitting quite hard after a while. And 9 turns means they can hold quite a few stacks at once, and it really plays into their passive quite well. In terms of their passive, they have attack and defense of 158%. They also gain an additional 20% defense up to a max of 58% with each attack performed. So they're usually fully built up after a single turn. They have a great chance, which is 70%, of launching up to 2 additional attacks, each of which has a great chance, 70%, to become a super attack. So they basically have a flat 70% chance to fire off 2 more super attacks. Now, why this is pretty good is if you give these guys a full crit, so if you build them full crit, they're actually pretty solid because they can hit some really nice super attacks, multiples, and they'll actually do really good damage. And with all those crits, it really starts to add up to be quite a lot. And then now the thing is if they're firing off multiple super attacks, they're going to keep raising that attack stat. And now for 9 turns, that means they can actually hold up to 3 turns of stacks at once. So they can fire off attacks in the first turn, they'll hold those stacks to the second turn where they'll fire off more, and in the third turn, all of those attacks will add on stacks as well. So they can really hold on quite a few attack stat buffs, which is going to make them hit pretty hard. We're seeing them in a better situation here. Obviously they have the support of the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2. Now they're not getting Cold Judgment from them, but they are getting the defensive support, which is pretty solid and honestly more than enough for them. They don't need Cold Judgment. They're getting, more importantly, the big attack links from Great Saiyaman 1 and 2. Links like Hero of Justice, Infighter, those are really going to increase their attack stat. But 120% or 120k defense is pretty good. Remember, they are going to raise that quite a bit with their passive as well. So we should see them get a really nice looking defensive stat next turn. We're going to see them do some pretty decent damage, hopefully, as well. Building them full crit does indeed help them out. But yeah, we're going to definitely get a good look at how they do. We are using an item, so we are going to see them tank with an item, but I mean, that's more than fine. So decent damage, 1.9 million. You can see that big increase from the links. Again, another great attack. That's 2 supers and 2 crits, and then we even get a 4th attack to finish things off. So very good damage there. They've now also fully built up their defense. They do have an item active, and they only take 97k. Now for a free-to-play unit, even at a rainbow level, to take 97k in the Majin Buu Saga Esbr is pretty good. It's honestly really solid. It's pretty spectacular, and yeah, it's really good overall. I really think they actually do a really nice job, especially as a 2nd slot unit. Yes, could they do better? For sure. Every unit can technically do better, but I think for the most part they actually just do a very fantastic job of getting things done. They do great damage, they can tank really well in that 2nd slot, and yeah, overall they're pretty rock solid. I think your only real concerns, if I could say anything, is just that they don't seem to bring a lot of other utility. So they don't stun, they don't seal, they don't attack lower, they don't defense lower. So for the most part, they don't bring much else, barring their attack and barring their decent level of tankiness. So if I was to say anything, I would say that ideally you're going to want to probably just kind of let them be. You're going to either want to float them, or you're going to want to really kind of focus them in the 2nd slot. They link up okay with Videl. They don't share a massive amount of links, but what they do share is enough, and they share Cold Judgment, which is good, and they activate her unit super attack. So for the most part, I actually think pretty rock solid option next to them. You can see here we're not going to be using an item. Videl should be okay. She'll take quite a bit of damage, but she does have her evasion. We do have Cold Judgment active as well, and we should see Gohan and Videl do some pretty good damage here alongside tanking really well. So that's our goal. Our goal is to see how well they tank here without an item. Videl doing some pretty good damage across the board. 230k, really not too bad. Videl and Gohan with a 2.1 million attack stat, very solid. Another super attack, hopefully they get a crit. And obviously they're not increasing their defense anymore, that is one thing. So they don't like continue to raise their defense or anything. That's where I feel like maybe lowering the enemy's attack, even just by 10% or something on super, or 20% on super, which seems to be the kind of accepted norm in their passive, would have really just rounded them out as a unit and made them really solid, exceptional, at least from my end. But yeah, I think for the most part they've done a really good job. They've done good damage, multiple super attacks of over 2 million at certain points. Like I said, you can build them full crit, so they should have a very decent crit chance as a unit. You can give them crit gear, which I have not done, and so you can have them pushing out some really good damage, which I think cannot be underestimated. It's very difficult to find units that just bust out huge damage. And when you look comparatively at how much damage units take in these stages, even units like LR Vegito, it just shows how well that they tanked as a unit, because these guys, they're taking damage. They are LR units. That Int Great Saiyaman's a very good unit. Yes, we technically had a very good situation for them, but you can see 186,000 defense is really a decent amount of defense. It's not a low amount of defense at all. Obviously, we do somewhat struggle a little bit for Ki, especially without the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2 on rotation. Like I said, they share Cold Judgment and Supreme Power with Videl, but they don't seem to share much else. But 1.9 million attack stat, again, very solid. They're going to fire off another super attack. They could fire off another 2 more. And they're just doing such good damage. They're really finishing off the opposition. They're doing a really nice job. So yeah, I think that's everything we need to see. I don't think we need to see anything more from them. I think we've seen everything we want to. We've seen how well they do. We've seen how good they are as a unit. So yeah, I think that's everything we need to see. But that's gonna be it from me, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like on the video or leave a comment and I'll try and get back to you. But as always, that's gonna be it from me, guys. So I will see you in the next one. But until then, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So bye.